My brother and sister, women don't become strong because life was easy. They become strong because everyone left and Allah stayed. When she has no one to rely on, no one to call, and no one to lean on, that's when her real transformation begins. Because a woman who learns to stand with Allah learns to stand with unshakable strength. There comes a moment in a woman's life when the silence around her becomes louder than the noise she once lived in. The people she trusted drift away. The friendships she poured her heart into lose their meaning, and the world feels strangely empty. At first, loneliness feels like a punishment, a heavy, frightening space where she questions her value. But slowly, something begins to shift. In the quiet, she starts hearing herself again. In the emptiness, she begins to see her worth clearly. Loneliness becomes the mirror she never knew she needed. Without the influence of others, she realizes how many parts of herself she had silenced, how much strength she had underestimated, and how many dreams she had pushed aside to keep others comfortable. Alone, she discovers that she is capable, intelligent, and emotionally resilient. She learns that her worth was never tied to who stood beside her. It was always rooted in who she is and who Allah created her to be. This phase of loneliness becomes her awakening. Instead of breaking her, it rebuilds her. Instead of weakening her, it refines her. And one day she looks back and realizes the loneliness she feared was actually the doorway to her true strength and self-respect. When a woman reaches a point where she has no one left to confide in, something remarkable begins to happen inside her. The loneliness that once felt heavy slowly turns into a bridge that leads her directly to Allah. With no one else to turn to, her dua becomes deeper, more sincere, and more powerful than any advice, comfort, or support that people could ever give. In her quiet moments, she lifts her hands and speeds to Allah with a raw honesty she never shared with anyone. She tells Him her fears, her wounds, her hopes, and her confusion. And unlike people, Allah never gets tired of listening. He never misunderstands her. He never leaves her unseen. Each dua she makes strengthens her heart, builds her resilience, and gives her a sense of peace that no human presence could match. Over time, she realizes that every tear she shed in dua was actually shaping her into a stronger version of herself. Allah replaces her anxieties with calm, her fears with clarity, and her heartbreak with wisdom. She begins to understand that relying on people is fragile, but relying on Allah is unbreakable. And it's in those moments of sincere dua that she discovers a support system far stronger than any human relationship. The support of the one who never leaves her side. There comes a stage in a woman's journey where the pain she carries feels too heavy for her heart. She cries in silence, breaks in private, and wonders why certain people, moments, or seasons were even written for her. But it is in these painful chapters that Allah begins to transform her from within. What she once viewed as punishment slowly reveals itself as protection. What felt like loss begins to feel like guidance. Allah does not allow pain to enter her life without planting strength beneath it. Every heartbreak purifies her. Every disappointment teaches her. Every sleepless night softens her heart and brings her closer to Him. And as she turns to Allah for comfort, something powerful replaces the sadness inside her. Unshakable faith. This faith isn't loud or dramatic, it grows quietly, like light filling a dark room. It teaches her to trust Allah's timing, even when she doesn't understand it. It reminds her that nothing she lost was meant for her, and everything written for her will arrive with wisdom and mercy. With time, she realizes that the pain that once weakened her is now the very thing that strengthens her. Allah didn't break her, He rebuilt her. And what He rebuilt cannot be shaken by this world. There is a powerful transformation that happens when a woman stops depending on people and starts depending on Allah. In the beginning, she is cautious, anxious, and full of doubts. Life has taught her to fear loss, betrayal, and disappointment. She worries about who will stay, who will leave, and who might hurt her again. But once she realizes that Allah is the only one who truly protects, guides, and sustains her, everything changes. With her heart anchored in Allah, her fear slowly melts away. She no longer walks through life afraid of what might go wrong. Instead, she walks with a calm, quiet confidence, knowing that whatever is written for her will reach her, and whatever is not written will pass her by. Her worth is no longer dependent on someone's approval, and her happiness is no longer threatened by someone's absence. She becomes brave in her decisions, steady in her emotions, and strong in her identity. She stops overthinking every step and starts trusting the path Allah lays before her. Even when she doesn't know what the future holds, she knows who holds the future, and that alone gives her strength. People see her and think she has changed, but in reality, she has simply stopped fearing the world, because she has learned to trust Allah more than anything in it. One of the most beautiful truths in life is this: Allah does not allow the wrong people to leave your life unless the right people are meant to come. But He only sends those people when your heart is ready, when you have healed, grown, and learned to depend on Him more than on anyone else. When a woman finally releases her attachment to people who drained her, disrespected her, or never showed up the way she did, she creates space for something better. Letting go hurts, but it also purifies her heart. She stops chasing, begging, or waiting for those who were never written for her. Instead, she focuses on her journey, her peace, and her connection with Allah. And that is when the shift happens. Allah begins to replace what she lost with something far greater. He sends people who appreciate her sincerity, who respect her boundaries, who value her presence, and who bring calm instead of chaos. These people don't come to test her. They come to support her, uplift her, and bring barakah into her life. She realizes that Allah didn't delay these souls. He was preparing her for them, because if they had arrived earlier, she might not have recognized their value. Now she welcomes them with a heart strengthened by faith, not desperation. And that is when truly meaningful connections begin to bloom.